Jumping right in with our first story, rumors of Britney Spears making an OnlyFans debut. Speculation that the newly divorced singer would try her hand at adult content on the exclusive member-paying service has been a huge topic of discussion in these past few weeks, having people on social media buzzing about the possibility of seeing Spears in a whole new light. Stories began circulating of Britney's alleged OnlyFans prospects after escaping the controlling conservatorship she endured under her father, Jamie Spears, for over 13 years. She gradually began posting more scandalous pictures to her Instagram, many of which featured the songstress showing off her body in outfits that were often topless or just depicted the singer nearly naked. After the divorce from her now estranged ex-husband Sam Asghari made headlines, rumors of future online sex work for Spears became more intense. But this X-rated gossip was already going strong even before the split, with folks assuming it might be something she'd try out, especially after she posted a now viral erotic pole dance routine to Instagram. Turns out that Britney's simply having fun online and working on her cardio and core strength with the pole, since the idea of monetizing her nude photos instead of posting them publicly online for all her followers to see was nothing but a rumor. In fact, she herself hasn't made any comments about whether or not she'd be interested in joining OnlyFans, but instead, people just think she should give it a try, seeing how the naked photos keep appearing on her social media accounts, and many were interested in seeing what content she'd put together for the site. Sources close to Britney have revealed that an OF in her name isn't going to materialize anytime soon. OnlyFans models, even with very little influence, can often rake in a ton of cash, so if Britney, an incredibly famous singer, was to pursue this endeavor, it's no doubt that it would pull huge numbers. The OnlyFans management team obviously saw the money-making potential in Britney's addition to the site because they actually reached out to her prior to any public speculation of her joining. Sources say that OF contacted her team about 6 months ago and kickstarted some initial convos about them working together, but she ended up passing up the opportunity, making it clear that she was not interested in making monetized X-rated content or being at all associated with the explicit side of the platform. It's obvious as to why Britney may not be after money right now, especially in this line of work. She has no need to be, following her incredibly profitable 30-year career, and can absolutely afford to offer these raunchy pics for free. Although some have been yearning to see some OF content from Britney, others are voicing their concern of this encouragement to get her into sex work, considering the volatile condition she's currently in, going through a divorce not just as public as hers but also as tumultuous, with Sam releasing a threat to blackmail Spears if she does not agree to renegotiate the previously agreed upon prenup, allegedly saying that if he is not financially compensated for this divorce in way of spousal support and reimbursement for attorney fees, he'll leak, quote, extraordinarily embarrassing information about her. Alongside the dissipation of her previous support systems from her family, she clearly has larger issues to attend to than entertaining an OnlyFans career. Our second story today pertains to the pop icon and Thank You Next singer Ariana Grande. Grande's been in the news a ton this past year, doing everything from allegedly breaking up the marriage of a co-star to releasing a 10th anniversary version of her debut album Yours Truly. On the topic of her debut album, Grande has just recently gone public with her decision to sever ties with her manager of 10 years Scooter Braun last week. Braun has been representing Ariana for almost her entire career, beginning their journey together in 2013 after her former line of work as a Nickelodeon actor on shows like Victorious, iCarly, and the spin-off Sam and Cat. Under Braun's management, she has since released her entire music catalog up to this point, beginning with Yours Truly in 2013, and went on to release 5 more albums, all of which hit #1 on Billboard 200. Under Scooter, Ariana also became the most streamed female artist of the 2010s. With their extensive history, it came as a shock to many when Billboard magazine revealed that Ariana had officially split from Scooter and his management company Hybe. When the story first made headlines a few weeks ago, it wasn't totally clear if the duo had cut every business tie connecting them, since both of their representative teams had originally declined to comment on the news at first. Soon after, those sources began calling her departure from the management team nothing but rumors, with it being a misunderstanding that came about after Braun simply stepped back from day-to-day management and negotiated with several clients, including Ariana, for a new structure of their work. This caused Billboard to quickly snap back, calling the alleged misunderstanding an instance of Scooter's team spinning the story in order to save face, and that there was absolutely no truth in Ariana sticking around as a client. Initially, it seemed as though Grande was maintaining an amicable relationship with Braun, calling him family, in a recent Instagram post dedicated to him on his birthday. This isn't the first time Ariana's fired Braun. That was back in 2016, and the split only lasted a year, but apparently this was a good experience for Braun, as he opened up in Variety magazine back in 2018, where he said that Grande firing him made him a better manager. But now the split between Braun and Grande is final, with Ariana going so far as to unfollow Scooter on social media. This isn't the first high-profile client that's exited Scooter's management. In fact, this whole situation came on the heels of Demi Lovato's departure just a few weeks ago, alongside Usher, Todrick Hall, Martin Garrix, and Idina Menzel back in January. There have also been rumors that Justin Bieber might be firing Scooter as well, but it's said that Justin is still under contract with Scooter's company and that they're going through with negotiating a possible new deal. With so many celebrities cutting ties with Scooter Braun and Hybe, many have speculated that there may be big, upsetting news to come out about the manager in due time, and it wouldn't be at all surprising looking at his track record for treating clients badly, often being too controlling of their brands and assets, with Taylor Swift being the biggest example of his distressing management style. There are still rumors that Ariana might still have an existing contract with Braun, so we don't know how that'll play out. But Ariana is a big name on the open market now, and it'll be interesting to see who becomes her next manager. Our last story of the day is all about Sam Asghari's newest interview. In the heat of his recent aforementioned high-profile divorce from Britney Spears, plenty of rumors are circulating about the Iranian model and actor. While on the SAG-AFTRA strike picket line earlier this week, Sam took to speaking with a photographer on the scene in order to address some recent reports that don't put him in the best light. Amid his split from Britney Spears after their year-long union, rumors that he was currently jobless made the rounds. Not only did recent stories coming out about Asghari suggest that he was out of work, alongside the prenup renegotiation for spousal support, but what really established that Sam may not be doing too well financially was the story that surfaced revealing that he, after moving out of his and Britney's mansion, was living on his own in the most high-end apartment building in Los Angeles, costing a staggering $10,000 a month. What made this look strange, though, was that he was not footing the bill himself, and instead Britney was the one shelling out the cash. Sources say that Britney's handler said her paying for his living accommodations was a wise gesture to make, since he was already challenging the prenup, which will probably end with Britney writing him a check for hundreds of thousands of dollars. So it looks like it was her way of trying to make amends in order to lighten his demands. Or perhaps the extremely embarrassing blackmail information he's dangling in front of her is freaking her out so much that she'll do anything to keep him quiet. To add insult to injury, while Sam's living in a penthouse rent-free, Britney's back in the recording studio while also preparing for the release of her new memoir, so the comparison between them seems a little bit jarring. Obviously, Sam's acting career has to be put on hold right now in the midst of the SAG-AFTRA strike. As a member of the union, he isn't allowed to partake in any film or television projects as well. He's been incredibly outspoken about the poor working conditions of the industry, so I doubt he'd have any desire to go against the restrictions. While speaking to the photographer at the picket line, Sam didn't deny that he was, quote, between jobs, due entirely to the current situation in show business, just like most other actors in Hollywood with the nature of the ongoing strike. The comment that made headlines, though, was when he compared himself to Leonardo DiCaprio per Page 6 publication. Many assumed just from reading that he was being brazen and egotistical. However, he didn't do so in any pompous sort of way, just saying that he has something pretty big in common with the Titanic boy, as they both have the same amount of jobs at the current moment, which is 0. He wanted to say that not having a job right now was the whole point of the strike, being that no one is working in order to stand up and speak out against the poor working conditions and the unlawful use of artificial intelligence. Sam ended his statement with the photographer by saying that he hopes the whole situation with the strike is resolved quickly, and that he and every other actor, writer, and creative can go back to doing what they love, which is, quote, making art and inspiring people.
Recently, people were speculating that reality star Kourtney Kardashian was having trouble with her pregnancy after her husband, Travis Barker, was forced to rush home from tour, canceling a number of Blink-182 shows at the last minute. All people knew was that Barker had a family emergency, and immediately people thought it was Kourtney. Unfortunately, they were right on the money, and the couple did have an emergency surrounding Kardashian's pregnancy. The couple broke their silence yesterday, telling fans about her recent hospital stay, sharing a photo of her and Travis holding hands on social media, accompanied by a long caption that started out with, "I will be forever grateful to my incredible doctors for saving our baby's life." Apparently, Kourtney had to be rushed into life-saving surgery for both her and her baby, which is so scary, especially knowing how hard it was for the couple to conceive and how hard they tried to become pregnant. In Kardashian's caption, she went on to say, "I am eternally grateful to my husband who rushed to my side from tour to be with me in the hospital and take care of me afterwards. My rock." Of course, she also gave a shout out to her mom, Kris Jenner, for holding her hand through the whole thing. Kardashian already has 3 children that she shares with her ex Scott Disick, with their youngest Reign being born nearly 10 years ago in 2014. In her caption, she continued to explain, "As someone who's had 3 really easy pregnancies in the past, I wasn't prepared for the fear of rushing into urgent fetal surgery. I don't think anyone who hasn't been through a similar situation can begin to understand that feeling of fear. I have a whole new respect for the mamas who've had to fight for their babies while pregnant." She ended the post with, "Praise be to God, walking out of the hospital with my baby boy in my tummy and safe was the truest blessing." Barker has 2 children from his previous marriage with Shanna Moakler, Alabama and Landon, as well as a stepdaughter, Atiana. The couple was spotted leaving the LA hospital on Saturday. The couple have kept the details of what happened with the baby and what surgery she had quiet as of now. Barker's daughter, Alabama, showed her love for her father, posting to Instagram a note that he left for her that read, "You are my everything, signed Dad." A source told ET that Kourtney is doing better and back at home. Kourtney is Travis's main priority, especially throughout her pregnancy, and he would drop anything for her, the source said. They are true parents and always make sure to be there for each other. She was grateful to have him by her side during this time. I'm definitely wishing all the best to Kourtney, Travis, and the whole family right now. This next story we have for today has been absolutely taking over the internet the last couple of days. Joe Jonas and Sophie Turner, the celebrity couple who many people saw as couple goals, have called it quits. Not only are Jonas and Turner divorcing, but the more that comes out about it, the messier it seems to be. TMZ reported that Jonas apparently saw/heard something with Sophie Turner that was the last straw in his decision to file for divorce, and it involves a Ring camera. Now, we must take this with a grain of salt as the info is from multiple sources, but hey, I'm dying to know what the heck is going on. These sources told the outlet that Joe had access to a Ring camera that he said captured Sophie saying and/or doing something that made him realize the marriage was over. Pretty vague, I know, but there aren't too many things you could be caught doing on a camera that would be the final straw for a marriage. Apparently, Joe and Sophie's marriage had already been on the rocks for about 6 months, which was news to me, and apparently it was all over their significantly different lifestyles. As one source put it, she likes to party, he likes to stay home. TMZ has already reported previously that over the last 3 months, Joe has had their 2 children most of the time. Sophie has been in London, and Joe had been touring the US with his brothers, kids in tow. They also said that they know Joe has been in touch with at least 2 divorce lawyers last week. The interesting thing about this was that both of these lawyers were apparently in LA, but he decided to officially file divorce documents on a Tuesday in Florida. The couple shared a joint statement to social media yesterday that said, "Statement from the 2 of us. After 4 wonderful years of marriage, we have mutually decided to amicably end our marriage. There are many speculative narratives as to why, but truly this is a united decision, and we sincerely hope that everyone can respect our wishes for privacy and for us and our children." In the divorce filing, it says the marriage between the parties is irrevocably broken. The couple have been married since 2019, welcoming daughter Willa in 2020 and their second daughter just last year. The couple are staying very quiet so far, and people really haven't been able to put their finger on why all of a sudden the couple is over. Definitely one of the more surprising celebrity splits, but at this point in 2023, it seems like everybody's splitting up. Let me hear your thoughts on Joe and Sophie in the comments below. What do you think the reason for their split was? What do you think Joe saw on that Ring camera? Let me hear all of your thoughts and theories on the pair in the comments below.
We all remember Ellen DeGeneres and James Corden's huge scandal, right? Well, now Jimmy Fallon is facing similar accusations surrounding a toxic work environment. Fallon has been running this popular talk show, The Tonight Show starring Jimmy Fallon, since 2014, and their 10th season was just recently wrapped up earlier this year. However, many employees working for Fallon have come out to discuss how their dream job was now ruined due to Fallon's behavior. It was apparently so bad that some started to refer to Jimmy's nicer days as good Jimmy days, and the days he is harder to work with as bad Jimmy days. Apparently, during rehearsals, he would be drunk, some employees believed at least, and would forget actions he has done. The erratic behavior was so bad that many employees witnessed this happening. Unfortunately, when you are not treating everyone nicely, it is going to affect how your employees act, as well as the potential of bad management skills are slowly rubbing off on them. In fact, they went through 9 showrunners within the past 9 years, which, if you ask me, seems like none of them enjoy working in the so-called toxic work environment. If it was such a great job, I'm sure they would not have gone through so many showrunners, especially because this job would be one many people only dream about. Due to the fame and social ladder Jimmy Fallon has climbed, many of those who have worked for him were too afraid to stand up for themselves, as angry Fallon does not seem like a goal for anyone. It makes it harder when there is not only a power imbalance, but also because there are many risks for those that are employed to The Tonight Show. Speaking up can not only cause Fallon to be angry, but your whole job is at risk. And for many people, that risk is not worth losing a job, which is totally fair. Not only is Fallon directly accused of belittling and trying to intimidate those who worked below him, other bosses working for the talk show were allegedly doing the same thing. It seems the whole workplace continued to grow in toxicity as others were beginning to act the very same way Fallon was. Many claim to be actually afraid of Jimmy due to the extremities of his outbursts. Because of his inconsistent outbursts, I don't blame them for walking around eggshells all the time. 7 former employees of The Tonight Show have stated the toxic work environment has impacted their mental health. Yup, not 1 or 2, but 7. It was so toxic that many employees have come out to say it was common to hear other people talking and joking about wanting to take their own lives. Not only that, but many often refer to the guest dressing room as their crying room because of how many people would go in there when they were upset and let their emotions out. It must have really been terrible for these employees to start giving nicknames to rooms they used to cry in. It must have been hard trying to get through your day at work, especially with all that stress and pressure surrounding you. Clearly more than just a few employees felt this way while working for Fallon, as making jokes about ending their life because of how awful the work environment was for them shows how bad this workplace was for a numerous amount of staff members, and that sounds extremely unhealthy, and I can't even imagine how these employees are feeling. Rolling Stones actually reached out to 30 more former employees for The Tonight Show for comments, and many did talk about how Fallon has comedic gifts and talent, but none, yes, 0 of them mentioned a positive experience while working for Fallon. Remember the 9 showrunners they went through in 9 years? Well, none of them gave a comment or even a statement of support, which is very common in the industry. You may be wondering what Jimmy Fallon, the man himself, has to say about this. Well, after these reports came out, he then decided to have a Zoom call meeting with the members of his staff and apologize for his behavior by stating how sorry he was and how he felt embarrassed. Well, it is unfortunate to hear another talk show host who seemed to be so loving on camera to be the complete opposite behind the scenes, because nobody ever called out Fallon on his behavior. He could have been unaware they were feeling mistreated. I don't blame the employees for not calling him out, because not only is Jimmy their boss, but it does put their job at risk. And if all the claims of his erratic behaviors are true, I would absolutely do anything I can to avoid being on Fallon's bad side. Although no one directly addressed Fallon over the years, it is one of his responsibilities to ensure the workplace is somewhat safe for everyone, and if that means finally hearing what others have called you out on, then so be it. It is truly unfair for these employees, as we also have no idea how long this has been going on for. While the cycle of showrunners date back to 2014, which means there is potential the workplace has not been safe since the very beginning of this talk show. Well, now that he has apologized, I guess we'll have to wait and see if employees feel like this was genuine and if changes begin to happen. Now, there's no way you haven't heard about Joe Jonas and Sophie Turner's divorce. Well, many celebrities shared their thoughts on this news. If you somehow didn't hear, Joe Jonas has filed for divorce from his wife of 4 years and the mother of their 2 children, Sophie Turner. There has been a ton of speculation hinting at a divorce for some time. However, just recently it has been confirmed once Jonas filed. The two have apparently been having issues since last December, and Sophie also decided to separate from Joe during the beginning of summer of this year. Joe tried to reignite their relationship by flying to the UK to visit her. However, they were unable to solve their problems as Joe filed for divorce. Well, Sophie took it to Instagram to post a statement from both her and Joe. The statement discusses how her and Joe mutually decided to end the marriage and hope everyone respects their privacy, especially during this time, for the sake of them and their children. Marion Cotillard, best known for her Academy Award-winning performance in La Vie en Rose, ran to the Instagram comments and made it known she was devastated by the news. She commented, "No, no, no, no," with a bunch of extra letter O's, and her cap locks turn on. So yes, she was obviously hurt and surprised by this news. Since then, Turner did turn off the comments on her post. Even though comments are now restricted, some of Sophie's fellow Game of Thrones stars such as Emilia Clarke and Maisie Williams showed the now ex-couple's support on their decision by giving the post a like. In fact, Maisie was actually Turner's maid of honor back in 2019 when she got married to Joe. Even Emily Ratajkowski, a popular model and actress, addressed her thoughts on this divorce. She took to TikTok to talk about how some find it quote-unquote chic to divorce before they turn 30. Although she doesn't mention anyone by name, this video was posted while all the news about this divorce broke out. And especially since Sophie is 27, it does seem like Emily was hinting at the situation surrounding Jonas and Turner. And if you're wondering how Joe's bandmates, aka brothers, are reacting to this news, well, nothing has come out yet, but the first concert they had since divorce filing was in Arizona. On stage, the 3 brothers Joe, Nick, and Kevin shared a group hug, followed by Nick giving Joe a shout out on stage while expressing his joy to be back where his favorite person in the entire world was born, and that was his brother Joe. "I'm very sorry, Kevin." Another celebrity that vocalized their opinion on this situation was Lily Reinhart. This actress is best known for her role as Betty in the show Riverdale, starring many other actors you may have heard of before, such as Cole Sprouse and KJ Apa. Well, she decided to tweet her opinion by discussing how she's disgusted by men in the industry as they continue to paint women as as the toxic ones. Although she did not directly address any names, many believe it was about Joe and Sophie, especially because she chose to tweet this following the news of their divorce. She also tweeted a similar message before this one, and her tweet read, "Stop making villains out of women every chance you get," especially since there has been numerous rumors surrounding the situation, and most of them accusing Sophie of being a bad mother because of the apparent partying phase Turner is in. This definitely correlates with what Lily tweeted about, but obviously we don't know for sure. So far, it has been pretty mixed where people stand when it comes to the news of this divorce. Many fans believe Joe and Sophie should do whatever it takes for them to be happy co-parents for their kids, whereas others are extremely devastated and shocked by this news, especially because of how many people have looked up to them and idolized them. These celebrities also seem to be mixed on where they stand with both Joe and Sophie, but maybe with time more people will speak their opinion on what happened. Although this sudden news did shock me, I'm hoping these two are able to move forward and start a new chapter in their lives, all while co-parenting. A divorce is hard enough for both parties and even harder for children. Now imagine your family's issues being blasted all over the internet. It definitely makes the situation a little harder to manage because of all the heavy public speculation. I mean, we've seen a countless amount of celebrity divorces, and with maybe some time apart can help strengthen their relationship in order to co-parent. While we're on the topic of Joe Jonas and Sophie Turner, Joe Jonas is facing a ton of backlash ever since his alleged PR stunt. Right after the news about his divorce became public, Joe was seen with his two daughters alongside the nanny at a restaurant. So what's the big deal? Well, Sophie has always made it known that she cares about her children's privacy. Pictures of their daughter were never released to the public. Their second child's name was also never been told to the public. And with the amount of attention and cameras these celebrities have on them all the time, Sophie was only being a responsible mother when it came to protecting their children, and who can blame her? In fact, Sophie has opened up in the past about how being in the spotlight since the age of 14 has definitely damaged her mental health. Knowing this, we can only assume she does not want her kids to go through what she has been through, and we all know the media can be extra tough when it comes to women, and with two daughters, she's only taking precaution. It doesn't make sense why Joe decided to suddenly show their kids publicly right after the news broke out, and it wasn't like the paparazzi caught the photos of the kids by accident, as Joe decided to sit outside facing the paparazzi. I'm assuming if this is a PR stunt, it was done to make Joe seem like a great father looking after his kids during this tough time, but it definitely backfired as a ton of people are angry with how he is being careless and completely disregarding the importance of their children's safety, as discussed by Sophie a numerous amount of times. This does not make Joe look good, as it appears he is using his children to boost his appearance. There has been a numerous amount of people responding to the PR stunts by Jonas, and many are very disappointed and stated they've lost all respects for him and question his personality as a whole. Joe has not faced much backlash in the past, which continued to mislead his fans to believing he's a good person. However, theories of Taylor Swift's 2008 single Mr. Perfectly Fine are indeed about Joe Jonas. The song talks about a toxic relationship and how this unnamed person would always orchestrate things in advance to prevent looking bad in front of the public eye while hiding all the issues behind the scenes, which in this case would align with how Joe is currently being seen. I personally think this was a huge mistake for Jonas, as it honestly made me see him through a different light as well. I mean, what was the need to have to get your kids involved into this drama surrounding their parents? It makes it even worse that Sophie made it very obvious and well known to the public about the importance of safety when it came to their two daughters. So it does seem like whatever intention Joe has behind this PR stunt was not a good one.
So Ashton Kutcher and Mila Kunis are getting absolutely destroyed at the moment. They've now released a video saying that they're sorry for any pain or trauma caused by the character letters that they wrote for their longtime friend Danny Masterson, who was sentenced on Thursday to 30 years to life in prison. In a video posted on Saturday on Ashton's Instagram account, the couple addressed how these letters came about. They said that Danny's family approached them after his conviction in May and asked them to write character letters representing the person that they knew for 25 years. They insisted that these letters were not written to question the legitimacy of the judicial system or the validity of the jury's ruling. Ashton said they were intended for the judge to read, and not to undermine the testimony of the victims, or to re-traumatize them in any way. We would never want to do that, and we're sorry if that has taken place. Mila went on to say, "We support victims, we have done this historically through work and will continue to do so in the future." It's worth noting that throughout the video, both of them looked particularly frustrated. They were clearly annoyed that they had to apologize in the first place. They were obviously reading off a teleprompter and made no effort to sound like they were talking from the heart. Another reason people felt the whole thing was insincere was because of Mila's facial expressions. The general consensus is that she seemed angry with the whole thing and was in opposition to what she was actually saying. It also doesn't help that they used the word "if" when talking about about taking accountability for the hurting victims. Following the sentencing on Thursday, more details surrounding the case have been revealed to the public, including the full letters which got completely leaked. In them, the couple asks the judge for leniency in the case. Mila wrote, "The first time I met Danny during our time working together on that 70s show, and from the very beginning I could sense his innate goodness and genuine nature. Throughout our time together, Danny has proven to be an amazing friend, confidant, and above all, an outstanding older brother figure to me. His caring nature and ability to offer guidance have been instrumental in my growth both personally and professionally. One of the most remarkable aspects of Danny's character is his unwavering commitment to discouraging the use of substances. His influence on me in this regard has been invaluable." She went on to talk about Danny's role as a husband and a father to his daughter, which she says has been nothing short of extraordinary. Mila said that witnessing his interactions with his daughter has been heartwarming and enlightening. She explained that Danny prioritizes his family, education, and happiness above all else, demonstrating his unwavering commitment to being a loving and responsible parent. So it's pretty obvious why she got called out for that. As a character witness, she attested to Danny's positive qualities as a friend and a father, as though that would somehow take away from his crimes. The letter written by Ashton was not any better. He wrote, "As a friend, Danny has been nothing but a positive influence on me. He's an extraordinarily honest individual and intentional human being. He set a standard of being a hands-on dad." He went on to say that they've spent countless hours together with their kids, and he's among the few people that he would trust to be alone with his son and daughter. He's also a dedicated and loyal husband with an unwavering commitment to his wife. But the worst part of this comes towards the end of the letter, where Ashton acknowledges that he did commit these horrible crimes against 2 women, but he hopes that his testament to his character will be taken into consideration in sentencing. In other words, he would love it if a few years got knocked off his sentence. And there's one detail about Ashton Kutcher and Mila Kunis that has the internet even more angry. It's their work in Thorn, which is their humanitarian work to stop organized crime, specifically focusing on helping young people stay safe online. So that adds a whole nother layer of hypocrisy to this story, and that's why they're getting called out. They've received a ton of backlash online, but one of the best responses comes from actress Christina Ricci. The day after they posted that apology video, she took to Instagram and wrote, "Sometimes people we have loved and admired do horrible things. They might not do these things to us and we only know what they were to us, but that doesn't mean that they didn't do the horrible things." She talked about how it's tough to accept this duality in the people that we know and love, but if we support victims then we must be able to take this stance. Christina went on to say, "Unfortunately, she's known a lot of awesome guys who are lovely to her at one point in time, especially in public, but in private they have proven to be horrible people who are capable of despicable acts." This is something she's sadly had personal experience with, so that's why she says we should believe all victims, since it's not easy to come forward and it's not easy to get a conviction either. And now another major celebrity is getting exposed and we have to talk about it. So what's been happening with Jimmy Fallon lately is crazy. He's now in hot water for allegedly fostering a hostile work environment at The Tonight Show. Recently, Rolling Stone released a scathing report after speaking with 16 employees about their experience working on the late night show. After the article's release, Jimmy reportedly held a Zoom meeting with the show's staff and apologized. According to CNN, he told his employees that he did not mean to create that type of atmosphere for the show and that he was embarrassed by the allegations. He said, "It's embarrassing and I feel so bad. Sorry if I embarrassed you and your family and friends. I feel so bad I can't even tell you." Jimmy started hosting The Tonight Show back in 2014 following a 5-year stint as the host of Late Night with Jimmy Fallon. Over the past decade, The Tonight Show has become massively popular, with clips from the show consistently going viral. But behind the scenes, working on the show is less glamorous than it seems. After speaking to staff, Rolling Stone learned about a shaky management system, seeing that there have been 9 showrunners in the past 9 years, and a massive pattern of mistreatment. Employees described frequent outbursts from Jimmy and feeling bullied by their managers. They also referred to dressing rooms as crying rooms and would even joke about ending their lives due to stress and constant belittling. One common theme amongst employees was that they didn't feel comfortable expressing their grievances to HR. One person said, "It's a bummer because it was my dream job. Writing for late night is a lot of people's dream jobs. And they're coming into this and it becomes a nightmare very quickly. It's sad that it's like that, especially knowing that it doesn't have to be that way." Another former employee said that any change to the show can only come from within. Quote, "I love The Tonight Show and I love comedy. I gave my heart and soul to that place. I want them to succeed and do well, but for that to happen, there are major changes that need to take place, starting with Jimmy. They all need to dig their heads out of the sand and do something about the very obvious problems that we all know are happening." During Jimmy's own apology, he expressed hope for the future of The Tonight Show and said that he wants it to be fun and inclusive for everyone. It's worth noting that multiple employees have also come forward to defend him during the scandal. 4 TV producers spoke to the Daily Mail, praising Jimmy as a supportive and collaborative leader who makes many of them feel like family. One staffer said, "From the day I walked in, I felt as if everyone was energized and excited about creating a very positive workplace, especially Jimmy, and I work closely with him. They noted that they are with him on a daily basis and they have to deliver bad news or disagree with him, but they still think very highly of him. Apparently he's open to changing his mind if someone else offers a difference of opinion." They said, "I cannot say enough good things about him, about how he is an empathetic person, how he hears other people's opinions, and how he's open to being flexible." Not only that, but fellow celebrities are also coming to his defense now. According to Jerry Seinfeld, Rolling Stone's recent expose includes an idiotic twisting of events. In the report, 2 employees said they witnessed Jimmy berate a crew member who was holding cue cards during the taping of the show with Seinfeld as a guest. Quote, "They say it was an uncomfortable moment. Seinfeld told Fallon to apologize to the cue card production member, which he allegedly did. The employees say this incident, which felt awkward to watch, did not make it to the version of the show that appeared on television. It was very awkward and Jerry Seinfeld was like, 'You should apologize to him,' almost trying to make it a joke. It was one of the strangest moments ever and so many people were there, so it's kind of hard to forget." Seinfeld said in a statement that this incident was not uncomfortable at all and he told a different version of events. He said, "This is so stupid. I remember this moment quite well. I teased Jimmy about a flub and we all had a fun laugh about how rarely Jimmy is thrown off. It was not uncomfortable at all. Jimmy and I still occasionally recall it and laugh. Idiotic twisting of events." The Tonight Show is currently on hiatus due to the SAG-AFTRA strike. During the first 3 weeks, Jimmy and NBC paid their staff salaries, but now they're all on unpaid leave of absence. In the meantime, he's working on a podcast with fellow late-night television hosts Jimmy Kimmel, Stephen Colbert, Seth Meyers, and John Oliver. All the proceeds from the show called Strikeforce 5 will go towards their staff until the strike ends. So at least he's taking care of his staff in this way. And now, what is going on with Lil Nas X? The premiere of the documentary Lil Nas X Long Live Montero was delayed after a bomb threat was called in at the Toronto International Film Festival. The Saturday night premiere of the film at Toronto's Roy Thomson Hall was delayed by about 20 minutes while the authorities verified that the threat wasn't credible. Lil Nas was kept off the red carpet during that time. Judy Lung, the Vice President of Public Affairs and Communications for TIFF, said in a statement that Toronto police investigated the vicinity of the red carpet ahead of the screening. Quote, "Our standard security measures remained in place during this time and the screening commenced with a slight delay. To our knowledge, this was a general threat and not directed at the film or the artist." His documentary Long Live Montero documents his 8-month tour beginning in September of 2022 for his full-length debut album Montero. The gala screening was scheduled for 10 p.m. and the documentary's co-directors arrived on the red carpet first, posing with fans that lined the entryway. But as Lil Nas pulled up in his car to join them, organizers were informed of a threat that had been called in and he was told to hold on. The threat specifically targeted him for being a queer artist, so his arrival was delayed while TIFF security conducted a sweep of the venue. A representative for the Toronto Police Service talked about the incident and said, "Yesterday at the TIFF, a passerby uttered a threat towards private security. Out of an abundance of caution, the Toronto police at the private security swept the scene and cleared within 20 minutes. The threat was general and did not target any one person." In its 46-year history, TIFF has been relatively incident-free when it comes to security. In 2017, the festival invested in tighter cybersecurity measures after a hack crippled box office capabilities and citywide Wi-Fi connections at the Sundance Film Festival in Utah. In 2018, Toronto introduced sniffing dogs and bag checks at screenings, all in response to local attacks. But thankfully, none of this seemed to really affect Lil Nas X too much. In an exclusive interview ahead of the documentary's premiere, he told Variety about the impact he hopes the film will have on audiences, specifically as it addresses issues of representation. He said, "I know in my lifetime, while I'm here, I'm going to do my best to make the ceiling unreachable to where we can go as black queer people. And I mean unreachable as like it can go above and beyond." So he's always working towards better representation in the community, and he's going to continue doing so regardless of how some people feel about it.
Let's start off with the VMAs that took place last night. The VMAs, short for Video Music Awards, are an annual award show presented by MTV to showcase and award artists for their accomplishments and talent, with many huge celebrities in attendance such as Taylor Swift, Selena Gomez, Demi Lovato, Megan Thee Stallion, Cardi B, Halle and Chloe Bailey, and oh my gosh, the list goes on and on. Well, we are going to be talking about no other but the queen of rap herself, and that of course is Nicki Minaj. Yes, Nicki is making headlines due to her wardrobe malfunction at this award show. This is surely not Minaj's first rodeo, as she has had a countless amount of wardrobe malfunctions in the past. She was famously known for flashing her entire front side back in 2018 2018 during the Made in America festival. She did not seem to care at all about what happened, and you know what? Good for her. She attended the VMAs in a pink wedding dress inspired outfit. She looked absolutely stunning in this bubblegum pink dress that had a ton of lace detailing and even a veil to complete the look. The dress also featured a silk corset which just snatched her body and gave her all the curves. While unfortunately, she didn't realize one of her shoes were not done up properly until she was being interviewed. She revealed that she had suffered from a wardrobe malfunction. She noticed all of this while off camera and stated she just realized her shoe was not buckled properly. The camera then zooms in on her feet. This was a hilarious minor malfunction, and it was great to see Nicki's reaction as it was all captured on camera. I'm glad she was able to realize this before she accidentally slipped or tripped due to the error. This was also Minaj's second year in a row being the host for the MTV VMAs, and I would love to hear what you think about this silly shoe situation. While we're on the topic of malfunctions, we are also going to recap Olivia Rodrigo's shocking stage malfunction while performing at the VMAs. Just days following the release of Olivia's second album, Guts, she took on stage as the second performer of the night, singing her new hit song Vampire. As she was singing, many audience members and even the performer herself seemed to be startled from all the pyrotechnics going off. A fake tree branch and even a red drape fell onto the stage, which caused a VMA's stagehand to help direct Rodrigo quickly off the stage and into safety. As the stage went dark, many feared something has gone terribly wrong. Well, Olivia's hit song Good For You began to play as it transitioned to Olivia performing another new song titled Get Him Back. It turns out the entire stage malfunction was planned all along. Many people had shared their opinions, and most of them are surrounding Selena Gomez's reaction to the stage malfunction in real time. Selena looked visibly worried for Olivia while she was rushed off stage, and now many fans are making jokes about the situation, with some fans even saying Olivia traumatized Selena and how this may be Selena's last VMA's attendance. It was funny to read everyone's reaction to the planned stage malfunction, and of course the hilarious comments people had to say as well. Although the stage malfunction was planned, Shakira is facing some criticism after some are accusing her of lip singing during her performance last night. While Shakira performed a huge 10-minute medley combining a bunch of her hit songs all while dancing and even crowd surfing. However, while watching her performance, people took to social media to share their opinions, as many believed her lip singing was a little bit too obvious. However, it is not uncommon for people in the music industry to be caught lip singing, and that includes Mariah Carey, Beyonce, and Katy Perry being a few. There's no doubt in their musical talent and abilities. However, some fans discussed how they were disappointed it was not her live vocals. Well, to be fair, Shakira was working hard on that stage, hitting every beat with her incredible dancing and her amazing stage presence. So it isn't always easy to do all that while putting on a show for one of the biggest award shows. I mean, I can't even sing in the shower, let alone pull off what Shakira did. Did you get a chance to watch it? What are your thoughts on the 2023 VMAs this year? While we're speaking about the musical talent, our next story focuses on Liam Payne, the ex-member of the insanely popular boy band One Direction. If you're once upon a Directioner like me, you may have known about Liam's health issues surrounding his kidneys since the age of 4. And when doctors did tests on him, it was deemed one of his kidneys was scarred and dysfunctional. He had one properly functioning kidney until in 2014 he shared the great news of his kidney that once had issues and it quote-unquote fixed itself. Well, unfortunately, Liam was rushed into the hospital after experiencing severe kidney pains while on a trip with his girlfriend Kate Cassidy in Italy. The Sun reported the couple were staying at a property by the lake when Liam had to be rushed to the hospital and taken by ambulance. This all happened after Liam canceled his solo tour dates in Latin America last month due to a severe kidney infection, which apparently has not been resolved yet. Liam has been signed into the hospital for at least another 6 days while he is able to be provided with care and hopefully more information on his health as he continues to get treatment. A source said they want to ensure they do every test possible before they suspect any underlying issues that have been going on and getting worse. A source who is close to the situation stated Liam is in a bad way, but he is in the best place he can be, and finally, doctors will be able to get to the bottom of what's going on. It is devastating to hear about the health issues he is experiencing. He was actually in Italy to celebrate his 1-year anniversary with his girlfriend. Luckily, she was there to support and aid him while he was in pain. Liam himself has also revealed his struggles since the band decided to separate back in 2015. This caused him to lash out on other people, and this also caused a secret stint at the clinic last year. Liam has spoken about his journey to sobriety, as he mentions in a YouTube video that he hit rock bottom and realized he had to change whatever he was doing because it was clearly not working. working. He further thanked his son Bear, as well as the mother of his child, Cheryl Cole, for allowing him to take the time and work on himself. Liam stated there is no point of being a dad when you have nothing to teach, which is very responsible for him to say, and I'm glad he's working on bettering his own life and the ones surrounding him, and of course his son. Liam has said he realized he was projecting his issues outwards instead of noticing and self-reflecting on what was hurting him on the inside, which he acknowledges caused his outburst on saying some rude comments about his former bandmate Zayn Malik. Liam has done some reflecting and gives credit to all the boys in the band, including Harry Styles, Louis Tomlinson, and even Zayn Malik, for always sticking by his side through his struggles when they were together. He revealed he was 6 months sober back in July, and throughout his journey he has gained a ton of support from his fans. I hope Liam is able to have a speedy recovery as they try and get to the bottom of his health. It does seem like he has been working on creating a better path and future for himself, and I give him respect for doing so. Next up, let's talk about the US Open, more specifically the drama surrounding Amy Schumer and Nicole Kidman. The US Open, which is a tennis tournament that has made it to its 143rd year. Many celebrities attend these tournaments, including Timothée Chalamet, with no one else but his girlfriend Kylie Jenner. Lil Wayne, Leonardo DiCaprio, Justin Timberlake were just a few out of the large celebrity attendance. Well, over the weekend, Amy Schumer and Nicole Kidman were pictured both wearing pink open collar tops at the Open. I wonder if Regina George styled them. All jokes aside, Schumer took to Instagram to share pictures of Kidman watching the tournament while her chin is resting on her hand, and captioned the photo, "This how humans sit," implying that Kidman is not human. Honestly, I have no idea what Schumer's intentions were behind the caption. Like, is Kidman an alien that the government hasn't told us about? Honestly, the list is endless of what Nicole could be. While in all seriousness, Schumer has been facing backlash due to some believing the caption was a form of bullying and mean girl behavior. Schumer did take down the photo after all the negative attention surrounding her post. After Schumer removed the photo, she decided to take the Ashton Kutcher and Mila Kunis approach when addressing the alleged bullying. For some context, Kutcher and Kunis are facing major controversy for supporting their co-star from That 70s Show, Danny Masterson, as he was trialed for terrible things he had done to women. The Hollywood couple decided to show support towards Masterson after he was sentenced for 30 years, and if you want more detail on the situation, it is a more sensitive topic, so search it at your own risk. However, the letter Kutcher and Kunis wrote in support of Masterson was, well, let me just read you Amy's apology. She posted it and wrote, "I apologize to all the people I hurt posting a picture of Nicole Kidman and alluding to her being an alien. I will be asking the cast of That 70s Show to write letters advocating for my forgiveness. Hashtag taking time to heal." Schumer actually took this apology down as well. After Amy was finished being ripped apart, that left the angry public no choice but to leave comments on her most recent picture at the time, which was a post dedicated to the US Open winner, Coco Gauff. Coco left a comment in response of Amy's support towards her by typing 4 heart emojis. And this somehow caused further anger, with people replying to Coco's comment asking why she's supporting someone who makes fun of others' appearances. Well, I don't think Coco has anything to do with this, so it definitely doesn't help Schumer's case, especially because of the history she has when it comes to making fun of female celebrities and their appearances. We all know the media is a lot harsher when it comes to scrutinizing women for their appearance in comparison to men, and Amy should know how it feels to be examined under a microscope when it comes to the public eye. And it obviously does not feel good when people talk bad about you. While she has a past in instances such as Hilaria Baldwin's body shaming post. Hilaria is the wife of famous actor Alec Baldwin, who is the uncle of Haley Baldwin. And while the opinions are mixed on this one, as Baldwin told Schumer not to apologize as she understands she was only making a joke. In this situation, Schumer commented on a photo Baldwin posted with her baby 3 months after giving birth. First of all, amazing confidence from Baldwin as she looked absolutely stunning, and we all know childbirth isn't easy. Baldwin is often discussing body positivity and states Schumer's comments were just a joke. So far, Nicole has not directly responded to this whole situation. An apparent insider told the Daily Mail how Nicole is not fazed by this at all and thinks it's silly. What do you think about the situation? I mean, from both perspectives, it can be seen as both ways. It is harder to make jokes nowadays without anyone being offended, but did Schumer cross the line when it came to the comments about Nicole Kidman? I personally think if the people she is joking about doesn't really seem to mind and understands it's a joke, then we shouldn't be mad at Schumer if the people she's directly talking to doesn't seem mad. I mean, Baldwin seemed to think her comment about her were funny, and I would love to hear your opinions on the situation.